Today I'm going to teach you how to create rules while coding in QuickBooks. Rules is something that you can use while coding to make coding go quicker and faster whenever you're coding transactions. We're going to go to the bank feed and we're going to see all these transactions down at the bottom that need to be coded. And a lot of times you're going to have repeat transactions. Like you'll have a gas station will be gas, or anything that says, for example, for this one, this squeaky clean car, that's going to be car washes. So instead of having to categorize each one of these transactions every time it comes through, you can create a rule where it automatically codes it for you. So how we're going to do that is we're going to click on the transaction, and down here at the bottom where it says create rule, we're going to create a rule and we can name it. These are the criteria that it's going to look for and how it's going to apply the rule. So it's going to be money out. And right now it only says the MasterCard, but we could also select like all bank accounts. So if it sees this transaction come out of any bank account, it's going to code it. Rules can be as broad as you want them to be or as specific as you need them to be. Sometimes you only want rules to apply to one account, whereas other times you want it to apply to all accounts. For this one in particular, we're going to do all accounts. And then it says include the following. We always like to do all. And instead of saying description, we're going to say bank text because we found that it picks up on it easier in bank text rather than description. Then we're going to do bank text contains, and then you're going to put whatever bank text you like. Usually the best way to do this is to copy and paste directly from the bank text, and that way it knows what to find. And like I said, this can be as specific or as broad as you need it to be. For this one, we're going to leave it just like this. And then we're going to come down, then assign. It's going to be an expense. If you were creating it for a income, you can change it to a different type of transaction. And then the category is what expense account you're going to code it to. This one, we are going to code it to automobile expenses. And then we can put a payee, so we can, sometimes down at the bottom, it'll have a box where it says change bank memo to, and then it'll have some text. We always like to delete that out of there because each time it gets coded, it's going to add the bank memo from like a previous transaction. So if we delete that out of there, it's going to add the same one. So then we can put automatically add, and then we're going to save this rule. Going back to the bank fee, we see those two squeaky clean car transactions have been coded already, and that they're automatically out of the bank feed. And if we go to the bank register, we can see that they've been coded automatically. So it helps you code faster and helps your bank feed stay cleaner. Like I said, you can also get as specific or as broad as you need them to be. You can also create rules by going up here to the Rules tab. And you can create a new rule this way. And you go through the same process as you would if you were creating a new rule straight from the bank feed. Something we like to do is we like to create rules for gas stations and have it differentiate between gas and meals. So usually the rule of thumb we use, if it's over $40, it's going to be classed to gas. Whereas if it's under $40, more than likely it's probably buying snacks at a gas station. It's going to be classed towards meals. So for something like this, we can add conditions. So I'm going to say this one's shell over 40. And I want this to apply to all bank accounts. And most importantly, I want it to include all of the following conditions. So we're going to make sure all is selected. We're going to change this first one to bank text, so we want the bank text to contain shell. And then we're going to add a condition, and we're going to add an amount condition and say amount is greater than $40. We want it to then be categorized as an auto expense. So we can categorize it to automobile, and we can even add the vendor shell. So then we can save this one, and we can create a new one, almost the exact same, but we're going to call it shell under 40. We're going to do money out of all banks. We're going to contain all of the following conditions. We're going to change the bank text to shall. And then we're going to add a condition where the amount is going to be less than 40 this time. And if it's less than 40, we want it to categorize to meals. And we're going to save that rule. This is also the place where if you ever need to edit a rule, this is a list of rules that you've created. And if you need to edit a rule or something didn't get set up, you realize one of the rules isn't working quite like you need it to, you can edit it and change anything about it. So sometimes maybe some of the bank text will, for this one, for example, maybe sometimes this transaction comes through and it contains this whole bank text of squeaky clean car. Sometimes it only contains squeaky. So sometimes you can either keep it like this or you can add another condition where the bank text is only going to contain squeaky, and that way it picks up all of them. And then you can save that rule. This is how to create a rule. This is how the rules will help you code your transactions faster as they come through the bank feeds. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe and check out our other videos.